What is the main reason many of the scholars mention is because they have duties to do. Those prisoners of war, because you feed them and you clothe them and they live in your house and all of that, they help you with duties. And because they do help you with duties, they do physical work. That physical work is going to be nearly impossible for you to do it if you're wearing the hijab. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
So if you're covering, you need to cover your entire body, you need to cover your hair, you need to cover everything. It is not easy for you to take part in that physical work. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So Islam did not put the obligation on them, because then it becomes easier for them to do these duties that they have to do. Okay, that's one of the reasons. So I said some distinctions here about the free women and a woman that is not free, but also, like I said, mainly is because they had to do these specific duties, and it would be difficult for them to do these specific duties if they had to wear the entire hijab. They had to cover the hair every time they're around a different man, they had to do all of these things, and even the clothing itself. And if you wore the hijab, I don't know if you did or didn't, but if you see someone that wore the hijab or you did, you would know how difficult it is for you to do physical work with the hijab. It's not, this is not what it's meant for.
So my question is, though, wouldn't that mean, like, because in the way, this is how I've been taught growing up, that the hijab is kind of like a protection, right? Like, it protects you from men's gazes. It shows your devotion to God. So why wouldn't
Hijab is
women
many
be given
things, but yeah.
why wouldn't
Yeah.
women be given the choice to partake in that if they chose to, and if they decided that they didn't want? You know what I mean? I feel like there's other ways that you could identify whether somebody's a slave woman or not. You know?
No. In this case, we need to understand one thing. We can apply this methodology to everything. We can say, for instance, then why do we not have a choice to pray if you want to pray or if you don't want to pray? What does the idea of being Muslim means? The idea of the word Muslim. I'm trying to explain something to you, and then I'm going to ask you something. Okay. But I need you first to understand what I'm trying to say. Yeah. What does the word Muslim means? The word Muslim means submission, to submit to the creator's command. If in reality everything to do with the religion or God is a choice that I make, if I want to do it, I do it. If I don't want to do it, I don't do it. There's no such thing as submission anymore. The idea, concept of being submissive to God doesn't exist anymore, because you're just picking and choosing what you want. There is the liberal society. That's how the liberal society functions. Now, yes, there is a distinction. Like I told you, one of the things is a distinction between a free woman and a not free woman. But I told you, mainly the main reason the scholars have mentioned is the fact that they are going to be involved in physical labor anyways. So, but one important thing to understand, that even if this is the fact that they're not going to wear the hijab, so it can become easier for them to be involved in physical labor, it is prohibited for a man to look at them with lust. It doesn't matter. A Muslim man, if he looks at them, because you were mentioning this point, so I'm answering it to you. Yeah. It doesn't matter whether they wear the hijab or not, that Allah is making it easier for them to be involved in these duties. It doesn't now mean that you can look at them. Scholars would agree. It's still prohibited for a man to look at them with lust. It doesn't matter.
So then basically, like, right now, if I'm wearing hijab and I take it off and I go outside and I dress half naked and men look at me, I'm collecting sins because they're looking at me, right? Because I dress
You're both collecting sins.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
both collecting sins.
So then would those women, they wouldn't be collecting sins for that?
No, because that's what I'm telling you. They wouldn't be doing that. And by the way, most of the people wouldn't look at them as a society in that way. So most of these women, actually, because they are prisoners of war, they wouldn't even be they wouldn't be looked at in that sense. They wouldn't be looked at as like sexual objects or something of that sort. It's just a perverted mind of some people. We need to also understand